In this video, we will finally add Firebase into our project, okay? First of all, what is Firebase? Well, Firebase is the database that we will use for our app, okay? Because when our users will log in or log out when they create a new account, we need a place to save their credentials, okay? So that place is Firebase. And as you guys will see, Firebase is super simple. And I love it, okay? Enough talking, let's create a project. So as you guys can see here, I have this project which is called YouTube, okay? This one is the one I use for sample app, okay? So we're gonna to create a new project. So first of all, in order for you guys to come here on this page, what you need to do, you can simply Google this like Firebase, okay? Firebase Google or create an account in Firebase because you need an account in order to use Firebase, okay? So, and it's super simple. So once you have your account, you will be directed to this, okay, to this page. And here you can create a project. So that's exactly what we are going to do. So here on this add project, we can click on this guy. And here we need to provide the name of our project, okay? And keep in mind that this name doesn't have to be the exact same name as your app, okay? But yeah, for us, the name we will use is this scan crossings, okay? So here, enter the name of your project. We want this scan crossing. Okay, perfect. We hit on continue. And here we can decide to add or not Google Analytics. Okay, what is Google Analytics? Well, Google Analytics is something embedded into Firebase that will help us to metric our user actions, okay? What I mean by adding a metric is, for example, you might want to know what is the most used feature into your app, okay? Or you might want to know when exactly your app will crash, okay? Some of these Google Analytics will be added by default. For example, when, for example, your app crashes, by default, if you enable this Google Analytics, it will add it to your Firebase console, okay? So for example, let's say that for some reason, this button, this signing up button will crash, okay? So every time a user tries to sign out, the app crashes. So if that happens, if we don't check this enable Google Analytics, we won't see it inside our console, okay? But as good developers, what we want to add this Google Analytics, okay? Because we want to know exactly what's going on into our app, okay? So here, we will check this enable Google Analytics for this project. And we can click on this continue. And here for the last step, we need to choose an account, okay? So here we will simply use this default account. So default account for Firebase. And we can finally hit on this create project. And it will take some time in order to create a project. Okay, perfect. Our project is created, as you guys can see, okay? And now we can click on this continue. Okay, here we are inside a project, okay? As you guys can see by the name, okay? You have this Can Crossings project, okay? And for us, the next thing we want to do, we want to add our app, okay? And as you guys can see, you can add different type of app inside this Firebase project, okay? You can add this on iOS app, okay? You can also add Android app, or you can also add a web app, okay? Here, what we want, obviously what we want is this iOS app, okay? So we can click on this iOS plus, and here it's asking us for a Bumble ID, okay? So in order to register our app, we need this Bumble ID, okay? And what is this Bumble ID and where can we find it? Well, a Bumble ID is a unique ID, okay? As you guys can see, here you can find your Bumble ID in the general tab for your app's primary targeting Xcode, okay? So basically, what is the Bumble ID? A Bumble ID is a unique ID for your app, okay? It's like your name, okay? Normally, you are supposed to be the only one with your name, okay, on this earth. So it's the same goes for this Bumble ID. So once you publish your app is supposed to have like a single Bumble ID that cannot be used by any other apps, okay? Now that you know what is a Bumble ID, how can we find a Bumble ID? Well, in order to find a Bumble ID, what we want to do, we want to open a project and we want to go on this target, okay? And here on this target, you can select this Can Crossing, okay? And here, if you go on this signing and capabilities, here you can find this Bumble ID. Okay, so in our case it's going to become that code we find that can cross things. Okay, so we can simply copy this and we go back here and we can paste this guy. Okay, perfect. Now the next thing we want to do, we want to provide a nickname. Okay, and as you guys can see, it's optional. So what is a nickname? So if specified, the app nickname will be used throughout the Firebase console to represent this app. Nicknames aren't visible to users. Basically, a nickname is simply something you choose, like as the name suggests, is simply like a nickname for your app. Okay, but in our case, we won't provide any nickname. Okay, and the next thing is asking us is this app store ID. Okay, so this app store ID basically is what, as you guys can see, you find your app store ID in your app's URL in the example below. Okay, so this does not explain how to what is a store app ID. So basically this ID is the one that Apple will give you once your app is published. Okay, but yeah, obviously our app is not published yet, so, and as you guys can see, it's optional and we won't provide this now. Okay, so next we can hit on this register app. And now Firebase will give us this document. Okay, this Google service info that playlist. So what is this file? Well, this file will be the connection, okay, between our app and this Firebase. Okay, and here Firebase give us instruction on how we can use this file. Okay, as you guys can see, move the Google service info file you just downloaded into the root of your Xcode project and add it to all targets. Okay, so the first thing we want to do, we want to download this guy. So we hit on this download. We want to open a project. Okay, and we want to go into our download folder, and what we want to do, we simply want to grab and drop this. Okay, and we want to grab this at the root of our project, so we can put it here. And here, extremely important, what we want to do, we want to check this on copy items if needed. Okay, we also want to check this and we want to select this target. Okay, and we can hit on this finish. Okay, perfect. Now that this is done, the next thing we want to do, we want to keep following the documentation. Okay, so we can hit on this next. And yeah, Firebase is asking us to add this on Firebase SDK package. Okay, Firebase wants us to install this on Firebase dependency. Okay, and how can we do this? Here again, we have specific instruction. Okay, so step 1 in Xcode, with your app project open, navigate to File, then Add Packages. Okay, when prompted, enter the Firebase iOS SDK repository URL. Okay, so what we want to do, we want to follow the instruction. Okay, so we can copy this URL. Okay, and what we want to do, we want to go to Xcode, and yeah, we want to go on File. Okay, and we want to click on this Add Package Dependency. And yeah, what we want to do, we simply want to paste this URL. Okay, and as you guys can see, we have this dependency. Okay, this Firebase iOS SDK. Okay, and yeah, what we can do, we can select the specific version, okay, of the app. But usually what I do, I simply use this up to next major version. Okay, so make sure this is selected. Okay, and yeah, we want to add it to this project. Okay, everything is looking good, and we want to click on this add package, and it will take some time, okay, in order to get the code of this URL. Okay, because remember, this URL is the project itself. Okay, if we paste this URL, as you can see, so what it's doing right now is trying to get this project. Okay, and as you guys can see, this project is big. Okay, it's huge. So let's go back. Okay, now it's asking us which package we want to add. Okay, and here, for example, this package Firebase Analytics. So this package will help us. First of all, what is a package? Okay, so this Firebase has many packages. Okay, as you guys can see, if we go back here, as you guys can see, we have many packages. Okay, we have this Firebase Analytics, we have this Firebase app distribution, we have this Firebase Auth. So based on what you want to do inside your project, you want to add a specific package. Okay, So let's say, for example, that in our app, we want to do the authentication, which is the case for us, okay? So we want to select the exact package, like for example, in this case, going to be the Firebase auth, okay? And remember also at the beginning when we were creating our project, we check the fact that we want to add this analytics, okay? And again, the analytics will help us to know exactly what our users are doing inside our app, okay? So yeah, you want to be careful. You want to select only the packages you really want, okay? So yeah, for example, what we want to add this Firebase analytics, okay? So yeah, instead of none, we want to select this. We want to add this to this target, okay? And we also want this on Firebase Analytics Swift. So yeah, you can check this, okay? And as we said, we also want this Firebase off, okay? So yeah, on this Firebase off, you can also check this, okay, to add this to this target, okay? So for now, we will keep it to this three, okay? And in case we want to add other packages later on, okay, we can still come back here and add more packages, okay? So let's click on this add package. And as you guys can see, it will fetch everything we need for this project, okay? So this is done. So we want to go back to the documentation, okay? And here we will hit on this next. And now I think this is the final step, okay? So we want to initialize our code, okay? So yeah, Firebase is using this app delegate, but we won't use this, okay? The only thing we need is this Firebase app configure, okay? So we can even copy this. Oops, okay, it's copied. So we can copy this. I think this is the only thing we really need, okay? So this is just to make sure that everything we did it successfully, okay? So if we go back to our project, what we want to do, we want to go into our root app, okay? This one, this can crossing app, okay? And yeah, what we want to do, we want to initialize Firebase, okay? So yeah, before this body, what we want to create an init, okay? And inside this init, we want to initialize our Firebase, okay? So we can paste what we copied earlier, okay? And of course, it cannot find Firebase app. This is simply because we have to import Firebase. And normally this error should go away. Okay, perfect. What we are doing here, every time we launch this app, okay, we want to initialize this Firebase app, okay? So which is pretty simple. What we can also do, we can simply add a print statement here, okay? We can simply say Firebase ready. Okay, perfect. Now, normally, every time we launch this app, okay, from now on, every time we launch this, it will go and configure this Firebase, okay? So we will use everything we did in order to configure this Firebase. So if we are able to launch this app, okay, that means we successfully added this Firebase into our project, okay? So guys, let's cross our finger and let's run this app. And as you guys can see, we are able to launch our app, okay? And here inside our console, as you guys can see, we have this Firebase ready, okay? So we are ready to use this Firebase into our project, okay? So let's go back to our documentation, okay, in order to finish it. So here we can hit on this next, okay? So we successfully initialize this Firebase. So we can click on this next. And as you guys can see, we are all set, okay? And we are good to go, okay? So we can go to the console. And in the next video, we will start adding our authentication, okay? And that's it for this video. And you guys saw how easy it is to add Firebase into a project, okay? It's extremely simple, okay? And in the next video, as I said, we will start adding on our authentication, okay? And we will start building the logic of our app, okay? So guys, get excited for this and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.